Middle of the speech, I just wrote a note to myself that it was a quiet speech. It never really ignited. It never really took off. I mean, he did that mandatory, charge at the end for the last, minute of it. But it was an odd speech. Joe, I've been wondering, when does the tax campaign begin?
Yeah.
You got one side here wants to cut taxes, keep them low. The other side is willing to let some taxes go up and keep some other taxes low. 20 minutes in, John McCain says, we believe in low taxes, comma. He doesn't even pause for an applause on that, and goes on to say, and strong defense and a culture of life. It was in a laundry list of Republican boilerplate. We believe in low taxes. There's only one more line about it. He says, I'll keep taxes low and my opponent won't. And then he's done with it.
Lawrence, the thing is, I don't get it either, Lawrence. And if I were running this year, I would lead with taxes.
Whenever you have that opportunity.
And the reason people don't believe that, a lot of people talk about tax cuts for the rich and this, that, and the other. The reason why tax cuts are so important to conservatives, to libertarians, to people of John McCain's party is because it's a battle. At the end, it strips everything away, and it comes down to this. Do you believe, a conservative would say, do you believe the federal government can use your money better than you can use your money? Right. It is a classic. Hayek set it up. Friedman set it up. It is the battle between the centralized state and the individual. Do you confiscate the individual's money to send to the centralized state? Now, of course, on the other side, Democrats will say, yes, educating our children is important enough that we should all pay more taxes. Yes, cleaning our environment. That's the back and forth. But the Republicans cannot just be about balancing the budget, about getting, being accounts. It's got to strip it down to the state versus the individual. You're exactly right. In this year, where trillions of dollars are at stake, the Republicans are mute on this most important issue.
Nothing unifies Republicans more than the anti-tax argument. As you know, there are shades of gray in all the other arguments, including pro-life. There are shades of gray even within that convention hall. There is absolutely no disagreement on the anti-tax argument.
And
it has tremendous appeal across the border to independents and to conservative Democrats. The anti-tax argument is the strongest argument in Republicans.
I had somebody tell me last night when he was talking about how intelligent Minnesota voters were. He kept on and finally said, okay, great, Minnesota voters are intelligent, but you guys did put Jesse Ventura in the governor's mention. You know what he said? He said young voters love the fact that Jesse promised he was going to cut car taxes and he wasn't going to tax snowmobiles and he wasn't going to tax all these other things. Yeah. You're exactly right. And, of course, the Reagan Revolution didn't start with Reagan in 1980. In 1978, it started with Proposition 13. In California, the modern American conservative movement began with a tax revolt in California in 1978. But we heard nothing of this last night.
Then he went on to, you talk about specifics, he went on to mention these three, he said, in the middle of it, I fight for, and he mentioned three families he would fight for in the different battleground states. Didn't say what he would do. One family that has a kid with autism, another family that lost a soldier in Iraq, and then another family in Michigan with some problem. And he never says, this is what I would do in government for those people. Right. So you wonder, why did you bring that up? What is the fight?
Well, and again, there was no overarching theme on this speech last night. If I'm a Democrat, I want to hear about an activist government that's going to reach in and is going to help the soldier, that's going to help the autistic child, that's going to help these other people. If I'm a Republican, I want somebody to say, government, get out of the way.
But wait,
we believe in the power of the individual. McCain never went there.
The one specific thing. Government assistance for the unemployed and to help train people who have lost their jobs through trade. And government money to make up the difference between what your paycheck was on your previous job and on your new job. And he gets applause for that intervention in a Republican hall.